Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's an honor and a pleasure to be speaking to you today. 2016 marks the 100th anniversary of the BMW Group. Since the founding of the company in March 1916, we've accomplished a great deal. We've much to be proud of. But even if we look back at the last 100 years, I want to make one thing perfectly clear to you. We are focused on the next 100 years. And that's the critical thought I want you all to take away today. In this industry, we must always be looking ahead. We can never be complacent. We can never say, this is good enough, our work is finished here. This is particularly true today. In this business, it is highly relevant to everyone in this room. As I'm sure you know, 2015 marked a record-breaking year for auto sales in the United States. In total, 17.5 million cars and light trucks were sold last year. And I have even better news. Americans paid more per vehicle as well. The average sales price at the end of 2015 was more than $34,000, an increase of 6% over the previous year. Congratulations to all of us. If you are in the business of selling cars, that's a fantastic accomplishment. Feel free to turn to the person next to you and tell them congratulations. And now, tell them to get back to work. Because as I said a few minutes ago, in this industry, we must always be moving forward, racing to constantly innovate to keep from falling behind. History has taught us that this is an industry prone to disruption. It seems so long ago, but I'm sure none of us has forgotten the impact of the global financial crisis. And some of us in this room have worked for brands that no longer exist. But this volatility isn't a recent phenomenon. The history of our industry is filled with once great brands that did not adapt and failed. Another quick reminder of the past. In 1910, there were more than 200 car companies in the United States. By the 1940s, there were only 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all chosen a career in an industry that's in constant flux. But I haven't come here today to spread doom and gloom. I've come here to challenge all of us to look over the horizon at the challenges coming and learn to adapt to them. And I do have some good news. What if I told you that there is a key to future-proofing a company? What if I told you that by preparing for this now, you could potentially open up opportunities for growth for the next 30, 40, or even 50 years? This key to success can be summed up in one word: millennials. Simply put, millennials are the future of our industry. Everyone in this room should be crystal clear on that fact. At BMW, we certainly are. The companies that are most successful at reaching millennials, engaging with them and transforming them into lifelong drivers are going to be the companies that are still growing 50 years from now. The ones that are not so successful may not even be here. So who are these millennials? I'm sure we all know the basic facts about this generation. Although demographers have slightly different definitions, roughly speaking, they were born between 1980 and 2000 and are now between 16 and 36. They are a number of 83 million Americans and represent roughly a quarter of the population. They're the most diverse generation in American history, with 44% of them part of a non-white ethnic group. We all know that companies across many industries have been talking about and trying to reach millennials for years. The very serious challenge for me and for every decision maker in this room is that millennials are very, very different from the baby boomers like me who have been our customers for years. Millennials have so little in common with baby boomers when it comes to their personal consumption habits, how they shop and how they buy. But when companies try to reach these millennials, they often make one big mistake that derails their efforts. They lump this cohort of 83 million people, roughly the population of Germany, into one group and extrapolate their common wants, needs, and behaviors. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a recipe for disaster. At BMW, we understand this. That's why our goal is to discover the subset of millennials that we should target and find out everything we can about them. And what we are finding is very exciting, but also very eye-opening. It is very exciting because we are discovering that our ideal millennial drivers are seeking more than just a car or a sports activity vehicle. They want a product that fits with who they are as they journey through life. I'll go into this in detail in a moment. So if we can get this right, and we will, we have the opportunity to create lifelong BMW drivers. But it's also eye-opening because what we are discovering challenges some of our conventional wisdom and absolutely requires us to plan and execute new ways of designing and manufacturing vehicles connecting with our customers. Now, as I promised, let's go deeper into our target audience among millennials. These are millennials who have household income to buy a luxury car at least $150,000. So we're really focused on just a slice of that top 1%. What else do we know about this 1%? There are about 720,000 adults in this group, and they control about double the income of the 14 million millennials in the bottom 20%. But demographics don't get us very far. We need to know what makes these people tick, or as millennials say, we need to get inside their heads. We recently conducted a survey of these high net worth millennials and then followed a group of them on their individual path of researching and shopping for a luxury car. This exercise uncovered 4 really surprising insights. First, when it comes to research, millennials have already decided which car they are buying before they get to the dealer. They seem impervious to a traditional automotive marketing, so ads during Super Bowl or March Magic probably won't work for them. Instead, they get their information from their peers, from word of mouth, especially online and through social media, which we've just heard, and from outside influencers. As a dealer, if you think a test drive will sell a car to a millennial, you're most likely wrong. But if you think of ways that digital technology might change that scenario, you just might be onto something. Second, they think of luxury in all new ways. They want to define luxury on their own terms, not according to the auto industry's idea. Also, to them, sporty is not necessarily luxury. Technology is luxury. Classic definitions of luxury no longer apply. But that comes with one important caveat. Technology must be humanized to resonate with them. A car filled with the latest technology means very little to them unless this technology supports their lifestyle. Third, they want their world to be customized for them. None of what they own should be generic or predefined. Think about Coca-Cola making millions of soda cans with names printed on them. For our millennials, what they own must be discovered by them, not dictated to them. And finally, fourth, to them, aspiration is participation. What they choose to own reflects their journey through life. It's not just about whoever dies with the most toys wins. They are not passive consumers. They want to literally and figuratively be in the driver's seat of what they buy. They want to learn a brand's story and values, and they want to feel part of the brand's story. They also want to engage with brands that are truly making a difference in this world. This quote from one of them gives us an idea of their mindset. Quote, "Maybe I could have gotten a deal with another brand, but ultimately it was about what I wanted. I was willing to pay more for that." Armed with these insights, how does BMW and how does the auto industry as a whole solve for this? How do we adapt to this very different millennial mindset that completely refuses to be sold to. BMW's solution is a three-pronged effort that will drive our success. The three elements of it are: 1, laser-focused targeted outreach and relationship building; 2, a product portfolio that covers the wide span of their needs and desires; and 3, a significant change in our retail environment. And now I'll talk about how we are bringing this to life. First, when it comes to targeted outreach, we know this 1% of millennials gravitate toward brands that display a larger purpose than just selling products. BMW has founded iVentured, a venture capitalist that invests in cutting-edge solutions that focus on urban mobility needs. We support high-potential startups that are dedicated to shaping the future of global mobility. By doing this, we invest in technologies and ideas which will benefit our customers in the future. Millennials also gravitate toward brands that fit with their lifestyle interests. For example, BMW has alliances with GoPro, the mobile video camera, with an integrated app that enables the driver to control and display the camera through our vehicle controls. This underscores the point that millennials are not passive consumers. They're motivated to create and capture their own unique experiences. We make this possible through our vehicles. We also know that some of these millennials, those who live in urban areas, may not be interested in owning a car at this stage in their lives. But we also know they are always potential BMW drivers. To build relationships with them, we have developed a global car-sharing program. We've also created a parking app called Park Now to take the hassle out of finding a parking space. Second, when it comes to our product portfolio, we continue to expand our line to capture more and more of these targeted millennials with a range that appeal to their unique and varied tastes. While their individual needs may differ, we know they want a premium, authentic, and emotional driving experience with the most useful and advanced technology available. For drivers looking for the ultimate driving machine, we offer our M models in 10 versions. For those interested in urban transportation with environmental sustainability in mind, we have our all-electric BMW i3. We've taken a similar approach with plug-in hybrid BMW i8, a sustainable sports car that offers the same level of advanced technology and materials as the i3. And of course, we have our full line from our 2 Series all the way up to our truly connected 7 Series. As I mentioned earlier, these millennials see technology as a luxury item, but one that must be humanized for them. BMW serves their needs in many ways. BMW Connected Drive enables drivers to control vehicle functions like locking doors from a simple smartphone. It also offers personal concierge service that can locate almost everything a driver needs to make his life easier. For example, an Italian restaurant, and send the location of that restaurant to his vehicle navigation system. Our BMW head-up display projects driving information directly into the driver's line of sight. This enables the driver to process data up to 50% faster and keep their attention where it belongs, on the road. In our 7 Series, our gesture control enables the driver or passenger to make simple hand movements to control features like audio volume and accepting phone calls without even touching a control in the car. And third, we are transforming our entire retail experience. Let's start with a few observations. BMW knows millennials choose vehicles by relying on word of mouth, recommendation from friends, and other influencers they trust. As I speak, we are developing programs to leverage key influencers who already have thousands of millennial followers. BMW will benefit from the halo effect of aligning ourselves with people millennials already know and trust. Millennials also want a quick, transparent transaction. If we don't provide it, they will simply walk away, and they hate the pressure of a salesperson. We are confident This will drive more millennials to our dealerships. And when they arrive, they will discover an experience that is all about meeting their needs. We call it future retail. With future retail, we are changing the game for them. There are no traditional sales offices. The showroom is wide open and very contemporary in its overall appearance. They're not met by a BMW salesperson, but by a BMW genius. These are product specialists who can explain and demonstrate the features and benefits of all of our vehicles without any sales pressure. Geniuses can configure any of our vehicles for a prospect on our large interactive screens or tablets where every detail can be viewed. And only if the prospect is truly interested in buying or leasing will he or she be introduced to a salesperson to take the process to the next level. By taking this approach, we've completely reversed the traditional sales process. Customers now spend most of their time learning about, test driving, and configuring a vehicle, and minimal time with sales, F&I, and delivery. And future retail extends to customer treatment also after the sale to ensure that ownership will also be a truly positive experience. This all makes for happier customers, increased sales, and fewer be-backs. More importantly, it addresses the unique needs and desires of a group of customers who are growing in importance and influence for us. I want to thank you for your time and attention today. Before I take questions, I want to leave you with just a few thoughts. At BMW, of course, we've always seen ourselves as the provider of the ultimate driving machine. Today, our understanding of millennials has led us to realize that they think of themselves as the ultimate driving machine. We are transforming our company to meet their need to be in the driver's seat, both literally and figuratively. And I can assure you, just as we think about and address the needs of millennials today, we will take the same focused approach on the plural generation that follows, as well as the target groups of the future. Thank you very much.
Great job. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So, happy birthday. 100 years.
Thanks. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 100 years, not bad. So, what do you drive?
A 7 Series currently.
So you don't ride share?
Not yet.
No.
Sometimes I do.
No. How autonomous is that 7 Series?
It can be autonomous for 15 seconds. When I would say, in the old days, I would look for my cigarette pack, but that's not good anymore. So now I'm searching for my glasses or my sunglasses, and the car stays in the lane. That's always very safe. So for 15 seconds, it actually does everything by itself.
Yeah. You just stole my question with your last little thing about millennials being the driving machine, because, you know, the ultimate driving machine, what happens to it when there's no one driving?
Well, I don't think we'll get that far, at least not in general terms. I think there are, even today, there are, of course, situations where the ultimate driving machine is not used because you're all in a traffic situation, you're standing bumper to bumper, and it's not fun in any car to be there. I think then the autonomous driving should kick in and the car should drive by itself, or crawl by itself, rather. You could also see situations with parking or in the city where autonomous driving makes completely sense. But if I'm on my little Connecticut back roads, I want to drive myself.
Yes, of course. So, a big year this year. Sales records, again. It's getting boring for you.
Not really.
Yeah. Spartanburg is turning into a small city. I mean, that plant is massive. You're adding more capacity to it.
We are, and if you go back 20 years, the plant is now 21 years old, and it's amazing how it has developed. Now we produced more than 400,000 cars last year. It's become the biggest plant we have, and we're looking at 450,000.
For X7?
Even before, I think.
Even before?
Yeah.
Can you go more? Do you need a second plant?
Well, let's see.
Have you seen blueprints for a second plant in America?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay. You've got another plant coming in Mexico, 2019.
Keep in mind that's very close to the great state of Texas.
Yes, I'm aware. What's the capacity?
100,000.
And what will we build?
It's not decided yet, but certainly not X model, so it has to be something else.
Okay. You talked a little bit about, and I saw a picture of the eye, and we're just ripping through these questions because there's 2 speakers left. We need to make some news, okay?
Okay.
So we'll talk about the I series, i8. We've got a beautiful one here, i3.
Yep.
How many more can we have?
But right now, I mean, this is the, last year was the first full year of the i3, with the first year of the i8, so we're certainly looking into widening that model lineup, but right now nothing is decided. But of
How many
course,
would you
between
like to
i3 and i8, there's a lot of space. I mean, between 3 and 8.
Yeah, there's like 17 models, you know, if you guys go by your terms, right? Lots of gaps.
Yeah.
How many would you like to have as a sales guy in America?
I would say one more.
One more.
Between 3 and 8.
Okay. At least one more.
Yeah, well, one more I think makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Do you see a sports car like the SLS? Do you need a gasoline combustion version of the i8?
Well, again, the i8 has just seen the first year in the marketplace. We'll see where we're going, but for the time being, we still have the Z4. We have the 6 Series convertible, the M6. So there are quite a few sports cars, let alone the M3 and M4.
Right. And 7 Series off to a great start.
Yeah.
How big does that go this year?
Say that again?
What's the volume going to be on 7 Series for 16?
More than last year.
More than last year.
You wanted some news.
Yeah. You know, we all have to work here. You said get back to work. We're trying. So you put a lot of effort into, and I'll just preface this by saying that when you got to America, the relationship with the dealers wasn't perfect. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've worked a lot on that. You can be proud about the improvements. How'd you do it?
Well, it really is the question of listening and seeing what can be done and together develop a plan. And we really sat down. We sat down on weekends with a couple of dealers and said, you know, what should we do? What can we do to improve the relationship? And we really had a plan. And that was there was input from both sides. And that's very important. I think that we get, in the end, agree on something and then say, okay, that's what we're doing. Right. That's how, now we're in the phase of execution, but everybody's really excited. And of course, if you have very important key dealers on your side, they will spread the word that they are convinced this is the right way to go. And so and I'm really happy that we have this mutual understanding how to go forward.
How's their profit?
I think 2016 will be considerably higher than the 15.
Than 15. So that helps too.
Yeah.
Get them more product, have them make more money. They'll like you more.
I hope it's not only reduced to that, but it is a driving factor.
You've met a car dealer before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned iVentures. You know, it's a great way to hedge, right? You see emerging technologies. You're selling a lot of gas cars still. You know, you see the ride sharing and everything else. You're investing in these things. How big do you think you can get?
Well, it depends on the idea of what's in the market. Obviously, if it really is necessary, so just a couple of months ago, we bought here the map company from Nokia that mirrors, so to say, Google Maps.
Right.
If it's necessary, we have to team up with someone else, but it just depends on a good idea, something that's in the market that convinces us. I think we can go really big.
Morgan Stanley was here earlier talking about ride sharing and the impact they could have on our business and how quickly they can scale and really build some impactful businesses. Could you ever see a day where iVentures is as big as BMW?
Well, I would say as big as financial services, maybe.
Yeah. That's safe, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you see what we're currently doing in Europe with Drive Now, we have 500,000 customers.
is really, it's developed in 5 years. Huge.
Right. Speaking of iVentures and new investments, are you guys going to partner with an Android Auto or Apple Play?
Not that I knew.
No. BMW will go it alone on the interface?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. This might be a little bit of a sensitive topic, but you personally have a birthday this year.
Yes.
Yes. A significant one, no?
Well, I hope I have a few more birthdays to come, but I also hope to have a birthday this year, yes.
Yeah. How long do you want to keep doing this?
As long as the company lets me. I love what I'm doing.
Is there a mandatory retirement age anymore?
It depends on the company, really. I mean, everything can be mutually agreed upon. But I know what you're referring to, and usually the age is still 60.
Yeah. Okay. Besides throwing a fantastic party in June with your partners, Automotive News Europe in Munich, for the A&E Congress, what big plans do we have for the celebration?
Well, we'll have a celebration in each continent.
Yeah.
We'll
So what are you going to do?
We'll also have one in the US with sort of a show and things. But what we are really looking is, having the last 100 years in mind, we're looking forward to the next 100 years. So it's all about the next 100 years. It's not really so much about looking back and looking at the good old days.
It's very Japanese of you. You spend time in Japan, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you could predict, I assume you don't want to talk about the auto industry in 100 years.
No, I don't think I can.
So let's talk about it just in the next 10 years. Paint us a picture where you think we'll be in 2025.
Are you referring to technology
26.
or are you referring to automotive sales?
The driving experience, technology, and how it's affecting
Well, I think
sales.
to start with the drivetrains, we will see a lot more electrified drivetrains. I think we will have a lot of drivetrains that will have
Thank you.
both electric motors and internal combustion engines. Then we will see autonomous driving. We'll have a lot of that in our cars. We will have a lot more things of the nature of gesture control and head-up displays and all these things. So we will have less buttons and levers and things. So
Yeah.
this will be much more intuitively. I think we will have, as a third pillar, we will have less ownership and much more car sharing. And I think we will also have a lot more autonomous driving in the public arena. So if it's cabs or Uber or so, I think those vehicles will be driven autonomously.
Mostly dictated by the millennials.
Yeah.
Do you see the millennials the same around the world?
At least Europe and the US, I would say they're very close.
Yeah. And what about India?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Right. Okay, just a few more questions before we get you back to work.
Good.
Sales crowns, they feel good. We had breakfast the other morning. You said that's not the end all be all. You know, the business obviously comes first.
Yeah.
You know, Akio Toyota is making some pretty strong moves with Lexus. How do you see them doing this year?
Well, they obviously have come big time last year, so we really have to take them serious. Their huge advantage is...
Do you care about defending your title?
Well, as you say, it feels good, but first of all, you want to really exploit the marketplace as much as you can.
Right.
And we've been suffering a little bit of the lack of trucks. That was always our problem in at least the first half year of 2015. And Lexus came right out of the gate with the full lineup, and so they've been very successful, no question about it.
So the added capacity will help you combat that. Yeah. Good. Ludwig, we wish you the best this year. Congratulations on your sales last year. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
Good to see you. Good to see you.